All right, Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors for the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to your hopefully elect. All right. And through the Spirit, I was watching an elder, his page, GMS Rebuke the Temper 2, Rebuke the Tempter 2. GMS Rebuke the Tempter 2, I was watching that video, man. Very edifying video, and because especially for a lot of newer Jake that's coming in, I'm sure a lot of the men before us, elders before us, and men such as myself, we were at that point where, as far as this truth, as far as this thing that we're a part of, this thing of ours, as the Apostle Gabar often says, you might think that it's a thing of just, as the scriptures say, work at your own salvation with fear and trembling. But this truth, man, it's a lot more than just that. This truth, this thing that we're involved in, what we're a part of, ultimately about the elect, the rebuilding of the third temple, all right, which is spiritual, all right, Lord willing, we're of that number. We're all spiritual blocks to this third temple that is being rebuilded, all right. And with that being said, we all have a part to play. All right, we all have some type of contribution or just something to bring forth, something to bring to the table and forwarding this legacy of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, and like I said, we all have something to bring to the table, man. And like I said, watching the elders video, and that's why I titled it the way that I titled it, because this is something that's been on my mind for quite some time now, because again, this thing that we're involved in, like I said, it's more than just uploading videos, going out to the camp once a week, but this thing is about the body, it's about the collective, all right. And it's a spirit, because like I said, it's just, as of lately, for me personally, I've been having a more serious mindset, because I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this real quick in the book of James. Bear with me. The book of James. And like I said, for me personally, it just puts me in a more serious mindset, because ultimately we want to get the hell up out of here, but before we get out of here, man, it's things that all of us, we all have to come to our full measure, and that's different for each and every one of us. But we all have to get to a point where the Lord is satisfied of us, he's satisfied of us, right? Before I get that, I'm gonna get this in Revelation. Revelation chapter 1. Real quick. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. So basically, at this time, during this time, Yahweh Shai was just dressing these churches as far as things that they can improve on. Now, the Lord let them know, like, you're doing this, you're I'm pleased with this and that, but you need to work on this, you need to work on this, and you need to work on that. And it just has me thinking, because likewise today, because 7, obviously it goes into completion, right? So to the complete amount of churches that are out and about today, right? There's things that we need to work on. There's things that we need to get together as far as ourselves individually in our personal walk and as a collective, right? There's things that we like I said, the Lord, we have to get to a point to where we fill our measure. We have to get to this point where the Lord, he's pleased with us, because we all have our lot to fill, in the spirit. And until we get to that point, man, hey, because I often think, here it is, we're in a hasteful spirit. Like I said, we're ready to get the hell up out of here. And we're crying to the Lord, complaining daily, crying out daily, like, Lord, when are you going to put an end to this place? When are you going to get the kingdom? But at the same time, the Lord's looking at us like, hey, well, y'all crying at me, y'all complaining to me, well, hey, I'm waiting on y'all too. Because again, there's things that we got to get together, man. We got to get our shit together. Like I said, individually and as a whole, as a collective, as a body. So, going back to James now, and this is what has me, like I said, I've just been taking this more serious, and I've been having a more serious mindset, because going back to, like I said, the elder, the name slips me at this time, but again, his page is GMS Rebuke the Tempter. All right, 2. He was doing this video. I believe the title was somewhat along the lines of how there's never a dull moment in Israel, and basically going into that, touching on a leadership position, some brothers, basically trying to stay on the back burner, but you see, again, this thing of ours, hey, if you're one of the elect, and that's what we're hoping to be, we're striving to be a part of that number. But with that being said, hey, if you're one of the elect, and you can't just be in some stagnant role, you can't just be on the back burner. No, man, the Lord, you're a leader. If you're one of those elect men, you're a leader. And again, Lord willing, what that number, that's what we're being groomed, we're being prepped to be leaders. So eventually it's going to get to a point where, hey, you're going to get out of your comfort zone. The Lord's going to force you to get out your comfort zone, and you're going to have to, you're going to be put in these positions to where you're going to have to lead. You're going to have to guide other brothers. Other brothers are going to be looking to you for answers. Brothers, some brothers are going to look to you for guidance, because pretty much, the way that I look at it sometimes, it's even outside of brothers, just people in general. You might be family members, friends, or whatever, it's just like for whatever reason, people, they want to talk to, they just want to talk to you. They want to confide in you. They just want to vent, and in a sense, it's almost like they look to you for like emotional support, almost, so to say, but more importantly, Because it's like that in most cases with brothers. Like I said, I'm talking about in the circle, in this thing of ours. You know, I'm gonna get this real quick. In the book of Luke, and I'm pretty much gonna be echoing some of what the elder, what he was going into in his video. All right. So I'm gonna get this in Luke 22. I'm sorry. No, yeah, Luke 22 in verse Luke 22 and 32. It says, "But I have prayed for thee," and that's another thing the elder was going into it as well. Praying for brothers, praying for one another. Hey, how shall he pray for the elect? The elder was going into how, hey, if a brother comes into your mind, hey, reach out to him, shoot him a quick text, maybe call him up. Because again, going back to the elder, there's never a dull moment. A brother might pop into your mind, and the spirit might just have it to where you call him, and y'all chop it up and whatnot. And hey, come to find out, man, that hey, the brother was thinking about you too, and it's just like, man, that's what I needed to hear. You might, break bread with the bro, and both of y'all are conversating, having a conversation, just a simple conversation. Hey, that might be what both of y'all needed. You might call the brother up, man. I was just thinking about you too, bro. Like, it's the spirit, man. So, like I said, pray for one another, right? Because hey, times are tough. Times are tough. Times are only going to get tougher. That's why we need daily exhortation. All right, because I know for sure, this shit is weighing down on brothers' mind, man. I know for sure. This shit is weighing down on brothers' minds, man. It's taking a toll on brothers, man. Brothers are tapped out, and sisters. We're tapped out. But another thing that I've been meditating on heavily, because the scriptures talk about being instruments for the Most High. We got to be those instruments. Hey, if you're going through hell for 6 months, just to do 2 or 3 edifying lessons to uplift and build the next brother up, hey, it might be easier said than done, but so be it. And I came to the realization some time ago, because it's like, man, Jay can't catch a break. Jay can't catch a break for nothing, but not to build my puff myself up or anything like that, but because Jay be catching hell, man. Like I said, Jay be catching hell, and it's like, man, like goddamn, but some videos almost every week, brothers like, man, you did that video, man, it was edifying, it was, that's what I needed to hear. And you see now, like I said, it more and more makes sense on, because if I had to be one of those instruments where I'm just constantly catching hell around the clock, and just to get that experience in, and Lord willing, uplift the next brother, so be it. I accepted that fact a long time ago, and hey, the sooner you come to peace with certain things, the easier it'll be. The better off you'll be. Because hey, this truth, man, it's about sacrifice, man. A part of this truth, a part of this being in this thing of ours is about sacrifice. And hey, we are the sacrifice. So take it with a grain of salt. But back in Luke 22 and 32, it says, "But I had prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not." Because again, the shit is tough, man. And for sure, 144%. It's this shit is starting to weigh down on brothers more and more. You know, it's really taking a toll on brothers more and more. You know, so pray for brothers, pray for one another, man. Because again, it's more than just working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? Again, this thing is about the rebuilding of the third temple, and we're all spiritual blocks. So every brother needs to be on point, man. You know, iron sharpeneth iron, right? You know, it says, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So you see, once we get to a point where we've learned, we've gotten enough experience, right? You know, hey, utilize that experience. Utilize your tools, your arsenal to feed, uplift the next brother, man. So that Lord willing, he can be, you know, another tool in the arsenal to uplift, feed the next brother. Because again, like I said before, we're all complaining, crying out, sighing every day and night to the Lord. Like, Lord, when are you going to put an end to this, right? Well, hey, the Lord's looking at us, down on us like, hey, I need y'all to. That's why I read that in Revelation, man, with the 7 churches, right? Where there's things that we need to work on before. Because I did a video not too long ago about how, hey, this thing, man, it's, you know, we all got to level up. We all got to grow. We all got to get to a point, all right, to where, you know, the Lord is pleased. He's satisfied, because some of us believe, and I'm one of those that believes that, hey, the elect could be sealed already, you know, the leaders, I'll say, you know, because you got the innumerable multitude. And that's the thing, you know, because the innumerable multitude that's outside of that leadership, the 144,000 men, like I said, Jake is going to be that innumerable multitude, man, is they're looking to the leadership, because Jake is a they're sheep, man. You know, they're sheep. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, hey, those elect men, as the brother Isaiah always brings out, those elect men, they're the he-goats. All right, and Jeremiah, man, they're the he-goats. All right, those miniature shepherds under Yahweh, under Yahweh Shema Shai. So that innumerable multitude, man, hey, they're going to be coming to those miniature shepherds, man, like in need of direction, guidance. You see, but going back to what I was saying, how a lot of us already believe that those elect men are sealed. It's just a matter of them, the Lord trimming the fat off of the elect, going through that refinery process. All right. You know, going back to what I was saying, man, the Lord needs us to level up. He needs us to get to a certain point in the spirit to where, hey, now it's time. They're ready. So that's what has me in this mindset of taking this more serious, because again, I'm ready to get out of here. We're all ready to get out of here. So, you know, it's just been on the back of my mind, like, you know, as far as just, you know, my lot, and just taking this more serious, and just really being there more for brothers, and just making sure that, you know, things are on point. You know, as my elders, all right, the men above me are all, you know, always, you know, making sure I'm on point, because that's the thing. It's like working out, you know. You're working out. You may not see the difference. You may not see the results, but other people, they can see it. They can see what you need to work on. You know, they can see the growth, the what you can improve on, so on and so forth. You know, because all the time, you know, brothers, you know, hey, bro, you're doing this. I see you growing in this. You know, you've grown. You went from this to this. And like I said, if we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, oftentimes we don't see it, but other brothers, they can see it. They can see it. We may not see it, but other brothers, they can see it. You know, and likewise to other brothers, you know, coming up, hey, to the brothers that have a little more, you know, experience and a little more season, hey, going back to what the elder was going into, how, hey, we can't be in the back burner for too much longer, man. Eventually, the Lord's going to put you in a position to where you're going to have to, it's all hands on deck at this point, man. You're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to get your feet wet. As a matter of fact, let me get this. I brought this out not too long ago. And shalom to you, Akim, on the comment board. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Hashem Thumb. I'm going to go to this. I brought this out some weeks ago. But in the book of St. John chapter 6, because before the apostles, before the apostles became the apostles, they were the disciples. All right, because before they became apostles, hey, they had to grow, they had to level up, they had to get to a point. Because when Yahushua left the scene, hey, it was on the apostles, it was on them, right? So St. John chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, there was a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many? And Yahushua said, make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000. And you notice how Yahushua, he's telling the disciples, again, before the apostles were the apostles, they were the disciples. All right, they were students. They were learning, right? It says, and Yahushua took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and to the disciples, to them that were sat down, and likewise of the fishes as much as they would. So that was the point, all right? Because Yahushua, he gave basically the task to the disciples to distribute, you know, because just to point out the fact that the disciples, they had to get their feet wet. They had to get involved. They had to get active. All right. Because again, going back to the elder, man, he was making the point that, hey, you know, you can't be on the back burner for forever, man. If you're one of those elect men, you got to get your feet wet. You got to get out there. You got to get that experience. You know, it's spiritual. Because I was talking to one of the brothers on the outside a couple of weeks ago, man, you know, and because hey, through the spirit, like I said, we might not see things in ourselves, but other brothers can see it. And it's spiritual, because brothers used to tell me the same thing, you know. Because I'll just say it, I was one of those brothers that, you know, I don't look at myself, you know, I don't look at myself as such. I don't see myself as such, but hey, through the spirit, hey, you know, hey, you gotta, hey, there's no room for that weak shit, man. You gotta grow. You gotta grow. You gotta level up. And the brother was telling me a couple of weeks ago, and I had the same mindset. Because again, through the spirit, hey, this brother, he's a leader. You can see it in him, you know. And he's next. I've been telling the brother since day one. You're next. Over a year now, I've been telling the bro, like, you're next. You know, I've been telling him you're next. And he says brothers be telling him that, and every time brothers tell him that, it's just like, it's almost like a surreal thing, because again, you don't see yourself as such. You don't, it's just, and it's something that kind of comes naturally almost, you know. It's like something that it just comes naturally almost, man. Because like I said, I was the same way, you know. And brothers, like I said, brothers be telling me the same thing, and I'm just like, you know, me? Well, yes, you elect whoever you are. Yes, you know. But nevertheless, that's why I just wanted to bring this point up, that hey, the disciples, they had to get their feet wet. Yahushua had tasks, you know, put them up to certain tasks and things of that nature. Well, hey, you know, Lord willing, likewise us, if we're the number, hey, we have to level up. We got to get our feet wet. We have to go through that experience. We have to, you know, get out there, man. You can't be on the back burner for too long, man. No. You know, because again, the elect, like I said, they're leaders. All right. And Jake is going to be coming up. We're coming into times where Jake is going to be coming up, inquiring, asking questions. What am I going, you know? And then for those men, we're going to have the answer, the answers. We're going to have to be ready to lead, to direct. That's what we're being trained up for. But before anything else, let me go ahead and get this to James chapter 5, because this is something that's been on my mind very heavily lately. All right. And like I said, this is what has me in a more serious mindset. All right. James chapter 5, verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain. So you see, like I was saying, sometimes we get impatient. Like I said, we're in a hasteful spirit, like, Lord. But here it is. Hey, it said, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it. So the Lord is waiting on us. There's things that we got to get together, man. And we have to get to a certain point to where the Lord is satisfied and like, now they're ready. Now they're ready. Let's go. They're ready. You know, because we're anxious. We're like, you know, but we have to humble down. All right. Take a double take in. All right. Well, because I'm just saying like this. All right. And the Lord willing, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, bring either brother spirit down, but listen, we're not going to be out of here. We're just according to prophecy and according to things, the way that things are happening, unless they mandate that MOTB right now. Again, just according to prophecy, and it kind of hit me even more when Apostle Tahar said it. 2024, man, it's looking like we're going to be here at least until 2024. You know, maybe 2025. So with that being said, hey, it's just a thing of, well, all right, we're going to be here. Well, let's just, you know, focus on what we need to do, man. Focus on the Lord's business, you know, because the scriptures say, cast all your cares, all your concerns, you know, leave it to the Lord, and he's going to, and I'm speaking to myself, but leave it all on the Lord, man. And he's going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of for us to, first and foremost, focus on his truth and do what needs to be done. The Lord's going to take care of everything else, you know. So like I said, with that being said, man, if they don't mandate the MOTB right now, then hey, it's looking like 2024, maybe 2025. Hey, we're going to be here. So with that being said, hey, focus on what we need to do individually and collectively. All right. And again, that's why I keep saying, man, this, it just has me in a mindset, because like, we want to get out of here, but there's things that we need to work on. We got to grow. We got to level up. We have to fulfill our measure in the spirit, man. So again, take it with a grain of salt. You know, yeah, we might be here another year and a half, 2 years, you know. You see, because I remember going back to 2020. Apostle Tahar, you know, when you hear your spiritual father make statements like that, like, hey, we might be here another 2 years. At first, it's like, man, god damn, you know, like, man, fuck, you know, Lord, just take me home. We get that feeling, but because I've been hearing that ever since, you know. Hey, 2020, hey, Apostle Tahar, 2021, 2022, we might be here. 2022, we might be here. It's like, damn, you know. 2022 comes, hey, we might be here. 2023 comes, we might be here. 2024, 2025, it's like you get to a point where it's just like, all right, well, instead of complaining about it, hey, let's figure this shit out, man. Let's do what we gotta do, man. You know, again, that weak shit, man, let's go. Fuck it, let's do what we gotta do so we can get the hell up out of here. Because like I said, a lot of us think that the elect are already sealed. It's just a thing of, hey, you know, the elect, those leaders have to get to a point to where the Lord is satisfied, and then the Lord can be like, now they're ready. Let's go. Let's get it. Right? Because I always say, man, Jake, think that just because Yahweh Shai, he's sitting in the heavens. I always say this, man. You know, Yahushua sit in the heavens just because he finished his course, he did his life, he did what he's supposed to do, that he's just in the heavens, sitting on the right hand of the Most High with his feet kicked up like, man, they got to figure it out. No, man, Yahushua can't wait too, man. Listen, we get that feeling of anxiety, of, you know, that fire, that determination, but I always say no one has it more than Yahushua. Yahushua can't wait to, you know, no one gets it more than Yahushua. No one gets that feeling more than Yahushua, but it's on us. All right, I'm gonna say that again. It's on us. So that's all I've been saying. Like, I just been having a more serious mindset. It's just, you know, been taking this more serious. You know, because brothers say it often. You know, certain elders say it often. Hey, this thing is more than just eating chicken with brothers. No, man, it's more to it than that. You know. But I'm gonna get this in Matthew chapter 10. Because going back to how I titled this, man, a new perspective, you know, as far as this thing of ours, what we're involved in. Again, it's about building the next brother up, man. It's about the collective, the body, you know. You know, man. Because we're all spiritual bricks in this third temple. So we all have to be, the scriptures talk about being fitly joined. Right? Fitly joined, man. You know, we all have to be on a certain level. We all have to be on point. You know? And I pray that Yahweh Shemo Shah, man, he, you know, keeps his spirit on brothers to make sure I'm on point. You know? Make sure I'm doing my part, because it starts with, you know, self-examination. Examine thyself. And Lord willing, the spirit is on me to make sure that other brothers, you know, on point, got what they need, and so on and so forth, man. So I'm going to go to this in Mark chapter 10. I'll start at verse 42. But Yahushua called them to him, and saith unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. And you see, that's not what this is about. All the fancy titles and exercising lordship, just because a brother has certain rank over, you know, just you might have the head over the camp, man. Just exercising lordship, and just because he's the head of the camp, he might think he the shit. No, man. And you see, that's another thing. Just because you might have a head of a camp, he's the head of the camp, all right, and he might be treating the least of the camp like shit, but you don't know that brother that you've been treating like shit, he might be over you in the kingdom. Believe it or not, the head of the camp treating the young one in the camp like trash. Well, hey, that brother might be over you in the kingdom, man. So this thing is not about exercising lordship and, you know, fancy titles, and no, man. Because when you read on, it says, verse 43, but so shall it not be among you, but whomsoever will be great among you shall be your minister. So hey, the greater thou art, hey, the more humble you're supposed to be. The greater you are, all right, the more you're supposed to serve, man. Because matter of fact, yeah, when you read on, it says, and whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. And that's what Yahushua displayed, all right? Washing the disciples' feet, right? Verse 45, it says, for even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. And again, Yahushua, he was the greatest display of that. He was our greatest example, man. Yahushua didn't come, you know, exercising authority and no, man. You know, Yahushua was a minister, man. You know, so the greater your position is, hey, and the elder mentioned it, and brothers be saying it. Hey, with more power comes more responsibility, man. You know, because again, hey, the Lord has certain brothers set up for a reason. That experience that brothers have, hey, again, like I mentioned, hey, being instruments for the Most High, let the Lord use you, because we are a sacrifice. This is a sacrifice. you know, and just letting the Lord use you to uplift the next brother, to build up the next brother, man. You know, because I'm gonna get this real quick. Matter of fact, before I get that, I'm gonna get this in Romans chapter 12. I want to read this in the NLT. Romans 12. All this is good, but just for the sake of time, I'll start at verse 10. Romans 12 and 10. Be kindly, because verse 1, again, it tells you to be, we are the sacrifice. Present your body as a living sacrifice, right? Like I said, taking the time out to reach out to brothers, go over scriptures with brothers, just to counsel brothers, just to be that listening ear to brothers. Sometimes whatever the case may be, because this thing, it could be time consuming. I always say, hey, oftentimes, hey, this thing, it could be time consuming. As far as getting up videos, it takes time away from, family, friends, doing your own pleasures. Oftentimes you take the time out to sacrifice your time to get precepts together for a video, or for a brother that might need counsel. Just talk to a brother. That's a part of this sacrifice. It's a part of our sacrifice, right? But verse 10, Romans 12 and 10, be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, and honoring, preferring one another. And who was it? The elder Manata Zakba. All right. He just did a video going into, well, in the video, he mentioned how, because when it comes to this brotherly love, man, hey, Jonathan and King David, how their love surpassed the love of a woman. The scriptures talk about unfeigned love. Hey, when brothers get together, man, you can sense the sincerity amongst brothers, man. When brothers get together, this is the only time we get to be ourselves, and just, brothers really are there for one another, man. But it says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Verse 13 is a point. Distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. So I'm going to read that in the NLT. It says, when God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Always be eager to practice hospitality, man. So this is something that is practiced and exercised amongst brothers, man. When a brother's in need, hey, when a brother's in need, man, hey, that's a part of this thing of ours, man. Being there for the next brother, right? Like I mentioned earlier, preferring one another, because hey, brothers will really lay down their lives for one another, man. Brothers will really lay down their lives for one another, man. Like Yahushua, hey, he laid his life down for all of us. You see? And hey, that's one of the top things. That's, and when it comes to what's precious in the eyes of the Lord, hey, for a brother to lay down his life for another brother. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in death. Just the fact that brothers are taking the time out for one another, and, hey, it goes a long way. Believe it or not, it goes a long way. Hey, like I read in James, hey, we're the precious fruit. The precious fruit, man. And hey, the Lord is watching. The Lord is looking. The angels, they're watching. They're reporting back, man. So no unfeigned love, man. No unfeigned love, man. No fake love. No fake shit over here. But I'm going to get this in Proverbs 27 and 23. It says, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herd. So again, because hey, when it comes to, as far as this thing that we're involved in, hey, like I said, just me personally, I've just been taking this more serious. Just, when it comes to the Akia, man, just really it's a different perspective for me. Because again, it's more than just working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know, it's more to it than that. It's deeper than that. The Lord is waiting on us. It's all on us. So, you know, hey, we got to get our shit together, make sure we're on point. You know, be there for the next brother. You know, show, you know, that brotherly love, man. You know, like I said, man, just watching the elders video, man, it just really, even more so, it really confirmed what's been on my spirit for a long time. You know, like I said, I kind of just had this mindset for a minute, but watching the elders video, GMS rebuke the tempter, it just really just put things in perspective for me, man. It just confirmed what I was already thinking, right? But I'm gonna read this real quick in 2 Timothy 2. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." So again, that's what a part of this thing of ours is about. Yes, we learn the scriptures, eat the roll for ourselves, we learn for ourselves, and then we go out and, Lord willing, teach the next brother. You know, build up, uplift the next brother, the next spiritual block to this temple, to this third temple, man. That's what this is about. You know, because again, I remember just being being just sitting on that, you know, in the back burner, just thinking this is gonna be like this until the kingdom come. Nah, you know, nah, man. If you have real sincere brothers around you, man, hey, they're gonna make sure they're gonna, you know, through the Spirit of the Lord. It's all the Spirit of the Lord. They're gonna make sure that, hey, they're gonna put you out there on the forefront. You know, they're gonna uplift you and you know, because it's easy for, you know, you got the heads of the camp to just, you know, to be speaking the whole camp 2.5, 3, 4 hours. It's easy, you know. But what about the other Akim? You know, because it's not about, you know, everyone, you know, speaking and just as far as what's on camera, what you see on camera. It's not about just the heads of the camp doing all the talking and, you know, I mean, ultimately, you know, it comes down to feeding the flock. All right, you know, make sure you know you get an edified lesson out. But hey, at least with, you know, with the camp that I'm a part of, you know, Great Millstone Orlando, you know, the beautiful heads, man, they have it to where, hey, you got the other beautiful brother Rakaria and myself, you know, the heads, they're trying to for the most part groom us up, and you know, because again, it's easier for them to just, you know, the whole camp 3-4 hours speaking, and me and the other brother just you know, on the back burner. No, you know, the you know, the way that the brothers have it through the Spirit, you know, they set it up beautifully. They what they push and their vision through the Spirit is beautiful. You know, the brothers might have it to where, hey, if Rakaria, you know, the other brother, if he for whatever reason he's not able to make it to camp, then hey, I'll open up the camp and whatever, you know, or close out or whatever the case may be. You know, that's you know, that's what this is about in a sense, man. Just building up, uplifting the next brother. Because again, we learn for ourselves, but hey, it is more to it than that. You know, make sure the next brother's on point. The next spiritual block is, you know, get to where he needs to be. And that's the beautiful thing about the brother, because like I said, man, you don't see certain things within yourself, but hey, other brothers, they'll see it. Other brothers, they'll see it, man. You know, so I'm gonna read that one more time. 2 Timothy 2:2. "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also." So, because again, that's what this is about. Building up the shaping and molding the next spiritual block in this third temple. All right. Because again, the elect, they're more than just sitting, you know, it's more than just sitting on the back burner, man. No, the elect, they're the leaders. You know, they're the teachers. So, you know, you gotta be ready to lead, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 10. 2 Timothy 2:10. "Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake." For the elect's sakes. Because like I said, man, hey, being an instrument for Yahweh Shem Shai, You know, you might be catching hell all the time, and it just seems like, man, I can't catch a break. Well, hey, the Lord might be using you to get those 1, 2, 3 videos a week up to edify, uplift, build the next brother, man. Because hey, Apostle Paul, man, he went through all type of hell, but it was for the body's sake, man. You know, and hey, Apostle Paul, he said it how, hey, as much as I want to be in the spiritual realm, hey, it's more needful for me to be here. Because Apostle Paul, he had a heavy lot outside of Yahushua. You know, he had a heavy lot. So as he said, as much as I'd rather be in the spiritual realm, listen, it's more needful for me to be here to feed the sheep, man, to feed the flock, to uplift, build the next brother, man. And like I was mentioning with Yahushua, hey, going back to how he fed the 5,000, right? Because Yahushua could have easily did it by himself, but no, the disciples, they had to get their feet wet. They had to get that hands-on experience. They had to get out there. And it's likewise us, you know, brothers that are used to being on the back burner and just, you know, holding up signs or whatever the case may be. Hey, eventually the time's gonna come when, hey, you're gonna be putting that position. You're gonna be putting that role, right? Because let's just say, what happens if you're a part of a camp, right? All right, let's just say, you know, you got 10 brothers in the camp, right? And you're the let's just say you're the fourth to last brother in the camp, right? Well, let's just, what happens if, let's say you got the six other brothers that are ahead of you. They end up going out, and for whatever reason, something happens, and, you know, to where they end up doing something stupid, and ultimately word gets up to the top, and they end up getting suspended or kicked out. Well, let's just say they get suspended, and now it's on you, right? Because again, it's 10 brothers in the camp. You're the fourth to last, right? The 6 brothers ahead of you, right? They get suspended. Now you're the head for the meantime. You're the head. You got the responsibility is on you. It's on your shoulders now. What do you know? But hey, if you have good leadership, then hey, you know, you'll be ready. Because the heads of the camp, they're going to be, through the Spirit of the Lord, man, prepping you, right? Making sure that in cases of situations like this happen, then hey, you got to be the one to, you know, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to embrace that role. You know? So, you know, stuff like that, man. Hey, that's what this is about. That's what this is about, man. Uplifting the next spiritual block. Molding, shaping through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, the next spiritual block in this third temple. Because again, hey, we're all spiritual blocks. So I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna jump down to verse 24. In 2 Timothy 2:24 says, 2 Timothy 2:24, and the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient. All right, because again, like I said, hey, or like the elder was saying, you know, hey, brothers are gonna be looking at brothers are gonna be looking at certain of other brothers as a, you know, that support system, you know, some brothers are gonna lean upon other brothers more, you know, and that's just within the circumcision, that's just within the body. How much more when it comes to the innumerable multitude that are going to be completely looking upon, trusting trusting upon the elect, man. Because again, the elect, those 144,000 men, they are the leaders, you know, and the innumerable multitude, they're going to be looking upon those leaders, man. They're going to be, you know, leaning on those leaders, man. But even within the body, even within that structure, hey, you're going to have certain brothers leaning upon other brothers for, you know, emotional support or whatever the case may be. Well, You got to be ready. We have to be ready. All right, I'm gonna read it again. It says, "And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men." Because you see, hey, you got to be ready. We have to be able to discern, and we have to be able to deal with all spirits. All right, brothers that are more hot-headed, brothers that are more quiet. All right, we have to be able to deal with all spirits, because the Lord calls all brothers from all walks of life into this thing, and we have to be able to deal with all these type of spirits, man. It says, apt to teach, patient. So you see, there's another scripture that talks about being ready to give an answer. Breaking certain things down to certain brothers. And that's why, again, we're going through this experience now, because, hey, Lord willing, hey, I always say, in that day, Lord willing, what that number, we are going to be those beacons of light. We are going to have the answers in that day. But we're in the what do you call it? The boot camp now, the spiritual boot camp now. We're in the training process now, man. But hey, the time is going to come, the training wheels are going to come off. And we're going to have to be ready. But if we are the elect, you're going to be ready. So, verse 25, it says, "In meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, if God peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth." So, that was the point, man. All right. A new perspective as far as this thing of ours, what we're involved in. Like I said, the elder, he pretty much confirmed, was already on my spirit for a while now. Just like I said, just taking this thing more serious for me personally, having a more serious mindset. I just want to do more for brothers, for the body. As I wish that the Lord, have the spirit on the brothers above me. Well, continue to push me, get me out my comfort zone, and make sure I'm on point. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments. And once again, shalom to you, Akim, on the comment board. How about Shema Shabbat Thumb? For whatever reason, this thing's not letting me. Salakia. Still trying to figure this out. Bear with me. It's not letting me slide unless I'm doing something wrong. But I'm going to just go ahead and read this here from Kasadia in Romans chapter 12. See? This damn technology, man. Man, Slakia. All right, well, the brother posted it. There it is. All right, so to you, Cristo Ronaldo, what are you saying? Are you trying to make a point? You got a question? Cristo Ronaldo, what are you saying? But the brother posted it. I'm gonna read it. The brother Kasadia, Romans 12:5. "So we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and everyone members." I'll just read it real quick. Romans 12:5. "So we, being many," matter of fact, I'll just start at verse 1 because I read it earlier, or I quoted it earlier. Romans 12:1. "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice." And again, because part of the sacrifice it involves, reaching out to brothers, making sure brothers is all right, text a brother, call a brother, if a brother needs, because you might be a brother that, a brother might wants to confide in you. He just might want to vent, vex, but you might not be one of many words. But hey, You know, sometimes all a brother just needs is just someone to talk to. You might not have many words, but hey, you know, you can listen your ass off, man. You know, ears wide open for the bro. You know, sometimes that's, you know, that's enough. That's all a brother needs is just someone to listen to him. You know, stuff like that is, you know, this is all a part of our sacrifice. It says, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So you see, this is the least that we can do. All right. It says our reasonable service. This is the least that we can do, man. Because this thing is simple. You know, Jake thinks this is hard, man. This is simple. You know, it says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. And you know, I mentioned that earlier, because we all have our measure, our portion that we have to fill, man, to the point where the Lord is like, now he's ready. Now they're ready. You know, now we can, you know, now we can get on with it. Let's go. So we all have to get to a point where the Lord is satisfied with us, individually and as a collective. It says, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. Because again, it's not about rank, it's title and exercise of lordship. No, man. Every brother's part within this body is important. Every brother's part, whether it may be holding up the signs. Like I said, you know, mentioned that earlier. You know, you might be a brother on the outside of the camp. You might have a big camp of 15, you know, a camp that consists of 15, 20 brothers. You might just be one of the brothers that's holding the sign. Well, hey, don't downplay your role, man. And not only that, like I said, don't get comfortable in your role, because hey, eventually you're gonna have to, you know, level up. Like I said, you might get to a point where you go from holding signs to just, you might be opening up the camp speaking, you know, be the main speaker. You know, the apostle Rakal and the apostle Gabar all have been talking about how, hey, they didn't think of, you know, they didn't see themselves, you know, being where they're at, teaching and, you know, being leading in leadership position. They didn't look at themselves. And likewise, a lot of us, we don't see ourselves as such, but hey, it's not of us. And it's not for us. So be that, you know, that living sacrifice, that instrument for Yahweh Shem Shai. Verse 5. So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and everyone members one of another. All right. So hey, again, that's what this is, you know, and being in servitude to one another for the body, ultimately for Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, tending to the church, tending to the flock, as I read earlier. You know, making sure that we're all on point. Like I said, through the Spirit of the Lord, shaping, molding the next spiritual block as we're being shaped and molding, right? You know, so Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honor to the apostles, that is a great millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.